Page 10, Fiesta España, or Spanish Party, I guess. I don't know. At the top of the page, they introduced the ideas of a motif and sequence. I talked about sequence on the previous video a little bit, those triplets going up or going down. That's a sequence. When you have a pattern and it repeats going up or down, it's a sequence. A motif is just a short musical idea. It's not necessarily a whole phrase. I suppose it could be. It doesn't have to be. It's just a short musical idea. All kinds of motifs around. You'll recognize them. You'll hear musical ideas, and it's a motif. So they've labeled them for you to help you out here. If you look at the first measure, or the first line here, they give you above it, they say this is a motif, and that's a sequence. Well, the idea is the motif is being played again on different notes. And the first measure, the second line, is the same thing. That same motif, series of notes, a musical idea, is being played on another bunch of notes. I'll come back to that when we get the notes underway. Let's talk about the hands first. 4/4 time, we're in the key of A minor again, no sharps or flats. Save some time on that one. Make sure you can do the scales C major and A minor 2 octaves up and down. That's your assignment, should you choose to accept it. Now, let's start with measure 5, right hand first. I'll come back to these beginning measures when I get both hands together. You're down here, 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3. Next, measure 7, again, 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, triplet, 4 and. And I want you to cross over. There's other fingerings I would rather use, but right now let's just do this one. You need practice at this. That's fine. Next measure, you back up here. 1 and 2 and 3 and then the last 2 measures on page 10 is 1 and 2. During the rest, you come up an octave higher. You recognize that as a motif? Just a short idea. And you played it up here? Well, that's a sequence. And here, and then 8th notes. And again, the motif is the 4 8th notes, and the sequence is we're going to keep playing this pattern going down. And we're going to use the same fingering on each one. We like to do that if we can. So we're starting with little finger and then 4th finger from then on out. And then the A minor chord, the 1 chord. 3rd measure, just go down to a G chord, and then an F chord, and then an E chord, don't forget the G sharp. And then the A chord, we're back to the sequence thing again, like you had at the beginning that we didn't cover. 4th line down, last measure, you're in bass clef here, because we went to bass clef a little bit earlier, you're here. And then you get treble clef to come up here, do it again. It's another sequence. And then up here. And you can play the chords here if you want, or you can just stay here and use 4 and 5. It's up to you, whichever you do. Typically when I would probably stay there because I don't like moving my hand anymore and I have to, but it's more comfortable to do a 1 3 5. So that's fine. Left hand, starting with measure 5 again, just here, F and a C, and then the next line, watch out on the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3. So those last 4 8th notes, that's beats 3 and 4. 3 and 4 and. So all this mess in front of it's got to be done by then. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4. Do it again. Not fun. Let's go over to page 11, 2nd line. You're here. You ended the first line here. And you're just gonna you want to be here. You want the thumb here. Just lift up, move it. And again, along with the right hand, you're doing a sequence going down. Thumb, thumb each time. We're fingering it the same way. let's put the hands together and see if we can put this together. I'm going to start at the beginning now. Your fifth finger's here in this position, an A minor position in each, and it is a 1 and 2 and. They give you the counting in the middle. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Because the half note gives 2 counts. 2, 3, 4. So if you can remember that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the right hand's just going crazy above on the other notes. 1 and 2 and you just lift up and move. That. Now you'd repeat that because there's a repeat sign there, but let's go on here. You're here, fourth finger now in the left hand. You just have to reach up with the thumb. So just got some interest. That's one of the things I really like about Spanish music. They got a lot of syncopation, a lot of neat rhythms built in. It's just a little tricky to figure it out at first. So this is the third line down on page 10. The first measure you're here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So we have to, as piano players, we have to be able to go back and forth between duple and triple time. That is a straight 2 count, 1 and 2 and a 3 count. 1 and 2 and keep it straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you get it a lot in piano, so you get good at it. And this is one of those things where this is happening. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and last two measures. 1. So this high note, we had this on the previous, that's a high E. It's 3 ledger lines above the treble clef. It's a high E. And then fourth finger after that. And then the left hand joins in. It wants to play too. This is the third measure of the third line, or measure 21. The half note in the left hand has an 8V8 under it. You go down an octave here. So that measure is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come back up. Look at this sequence again. And the third line of the next line, it's measure 25. Again, you got an 8V8 under the last half note. And here and then back. Now, I don't know if that's really what they wanted, but that's what they wrote. I think what they want to do is they want to go up there, and so dissonance or not, that's what they wanted. Okay. Now once you can get it and get the hesitations and all worked out, and then we can add in this articulation. Accents, staccatos and things. Our nice light wrist staccato here. They don't give you any staccato on the first couple of notes in the right hand, but on the beats 3 and 4, it's staccato on both hands. Short staccato. See, I finger this differently in the left hand in the second line because they've got your little finger doing it's second line, second measure. Here, yuck. So I would do this with thumb. You got to move anyway. So the first measure is the second line. And it's staccato. I just come down here, and that way I can reach this. I don't have to move so much. Although this is more showy, you're going to do that. That's the sforzando. We've had that before. It's a major accent. Collapse the wrist a little bit. Don't get stiff. Going on, we'll skip the repeat for now, and it's this legato here. This provides a nice contrast from what we had. On this left hand, you can do that, connect that, and then separate. That's a nice contrast if you want to do that. That's fine. Pedal's going to cover it all up. It's going to smear it all together. But it doesn't hurt to do the technique and feel this whether you can hear it or not. Let's go over to page 11. At the top, you hear the slurs in the right hand. Lift up between. Accent. Sforzando, major accent, and then you keep doing that some more. Go down to measure 26. You're here, treble, bass clef, accent here, and then staccato on the left hand, accent, sforzando. Wake everybody up. And once you get an idea of the staccatos and all that, then we can add the dynamics. Just this is a party piece. Well, it's a fiesta. It's a party, so it's loud. Both hands. You repeat that. Let's go on. Moderately soft here. You're coming down. You're gonna go. So you go to about a moderately loud. Don't get too loud. Keep the left hand soft. You're soft here. Do it again. Moderate. A little louder. Louder. Very loud. That's very loud in the right hand. The left hand can about a moderately loud there. Keep going. Here, both hands can be about the same. And this is only loud. This isn't as loud as you were at the top there on the very loud. And 2 Fs is not twice as loud as F. Don't get into that trap. 2 Fs is just a little louder than F, because you can have 3 Fs and 4 Fs, so don't get carried away here. It's just very loud. Now the rest of this is pretty much you've had. Speed-wise, it's fast. Well, it's a party piece, of course it is. How fast can you play it accurately, though? That's what counts. So you see, the idea with the speed isn't necessarily how fast do the beats go. It's the overall flow of the piece. It needs to feel like a fast piece. Kind of depends on what's in it as to how fast you're really going to go. So here, measure 5 when the thing. In my opinion, that's close enough, whatever that is. They give you metronome markings, but those are guides. You don't have to go that fast. You go your speed. And when you get to the bottom of page 11, there is a retardando. See, in the second measure, the RIT, you just slow down a little bit. So the last line there is here. And this is very loud here. So, and it's slow too. I mean, it's like serious. That sforzando takes it up to like 3 Fs. It's like very, very loud. Well, but again, don't make it harsh. It's got to be a musical, very, very loud. So watch out. Then on top of that, they've added pedal. You don't need pedal on this. You can make it do just fine, but they added it, so let's talk about it. At the beginning, you're using pedal for the first 2 beats, and you can push the pedal down with the hand here, together, and you lift it up as you play the 3rd beat, so we hear the staccato. before you repeat, so there's a little silence. And lift it up before you go on, so there's a little silence. And this third line down, you're only pedaling that one measure. Go ahead and push the pedal down right after you play the notes and leave it down. I would lift it up before I play. I would lift it up with the right hand so we get like a breath in there. Here we're going to legato pedal this at the bottom of page 10. Push the note down and then the pedal, change the pedal. Here, again, push the note down first, then change the pedal. Again, and again. On the sequence coming down, you're changing it at each measure here. And lift it up right as you play those accented notes in the second line. So lift it up. I have a problem with that, the way they've done that, because when you use pedal, you cover up that phrasing. But then when you lift the pedal, the phrasing comes back. I don't know if I like that or not. I have to think about it. But if I don't like the sound of it, I'd change it and just slur it all together. Because when you had pedal down, that's what it sounded like. So you have to decide on what you like to hear, on whether or not you're going to lift it up or run it together, because of what the pedal did. And the rest of the pedaling is about the same as that. That's my impression of it. Don't copy me, please. You got to make it your own. You do it. I just give you an idea what it sort of sounds like. I'd like to play it with you very slowly. Now, when you get to this level of music, I don't know that you really need to play with me to check the notes and the rhythms and all, but I'll go ahead and do it throughout this book, and then I probably won't do it on the other books that are harder than this. So I'll give us 4 counts of 4/4 time. Let's play it together very slowly. We are going to take the repeat, though. Be careful on that one. I won't do the dynamics, but I'll try and do everything else. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2